Hi everyone, my name's Pieta Valentine. I've written 2 books, The Resident's Voice from a Dementia Unit and The Resident's Rise from a Dementia Unit. So today's session is on sons having fun at a dementia unit. The last video was on sons bringing fun to a dementia unit with the little dog, etc. But this one is sons having fun. Now, it is possible to have fun at a dementia unit. Many people may think, how could that be possible? But actually, once you rise above it and you're present and in that good sort of state of not, fearing about the future or, angsting about the past, but you're just in the moment, which is the best way to be at any time, actually, but especially in a dementia unit. If you're in that good space and you're connected and you get on well with the residents, which is always a big plus, then, you'll connect in with all the fun that's going on. There's lots of fun. Dementia units really can be fun places. Dementia residents themselves have heaps of fun amongst themselves. And if you can just be present and stay in the moment and be there long enough to pick up on the fun, that's another thing. You're not going to experience the fun if you just rush in and rush out, with millions of other things on your mind, have to pick up the kids or make dinner or whatever it is, which, though real issues, you can't have fun when you're in that sort of headspace. You've got to give it the time. So it is best to go to the dementia unit and visit when you do have the time and just take it as wind down time, taking your coffee, taking your scone, whatever you like on a Saturday morning, sit in the sun, get a window seat sorted with your mother, have a coffee and scone, and just like you would at a cafe, bring a magazine if you like, read that to your mother, share it together. Oh, this article, this. It's all fun, it's all relaxation. Relaxation and, you can't actually have fun, can you, unless you're relaxed? Actually, if you're not relaxed, you sort of take things personally. What can be fun to another person is an insult to another. The insult it's insult if you're stressed out. If you're stressed out, everything's an insult practically. But if you're relaxed, you can see the other side of it, Anyway, back to sons having fun. So anyway, there was this one guy that used to visit his mother, tall, good-looking man, and he'd been a national rugby player, and he had a great relationship with his mother. She could be a bit fiery. He wasn't. He was steady as, but she could go up and down. Anyway, but he was great to her. He'd wrestled her on the bed. How to explain it? She had been very proactive in his career. He was top-ranking rugby player. So ever since he was young, she had played a rugby with him on the back lawn, throwing the ball, and I don't know if she dived for the ball, but she'd throw the ball and catches and throws and whatever else you do when you play rugby. So she'd spent a lot of time with him out in the backyard playing rugby, and so he could practice his catches and his kicks and whatever else he had to do. Anyway, this was a lifelong thing and continued right up to the dementia unit. So when she was lying on the bed, he'd sort of, wrestle her lightly on the bed, just like a cat plays with a ball of wool, and they'd sort of wrestle around, and she'd sit on his knee, and, and he was just delightful with her. But at the same time, so that was the fun side, but the other side was that she could escalate. Yeah, she really could escalate. High. If she was, especially if she felt misunderstood. They don't understand me, and she'd kick, and, the food would go flying, the flowers would go flying, everything went flying, and, kick or punch or whatever she had to do to, create a scene. She was so frustrated. So not aggressive at others at this point, but still bad enough that it could become aggression, danger, red flag stuff. So it was really important that she de-escalated. Anyway, he would just ring, or, the staff would ring him to calm her down. And he'd just say, Mum, you've got to rein it in. you've got to really work on yourself here and control, bring yourself back, bring back the control. Harness yourself, you can't be, you've got to make more of an effort, discipline. Anyway, he'd say something like this. And she just, it just took 30 seconds of him just coaching her on it. Often it was just, Mum, you've got to rein yourself in. That's it. That's all he'd say. And she'd say, oh, okay, I'll try. And she did. Remarkable, because that tone of voice, that connection, that presence, that authority, and the fact he loved her and she loved him. He was the favourite son and he was excellent to her. They had fun. They enjoyed each other's company. He'd take her out overnight, for the weekend. Incredible feat. That's another story, but it's a really big thing to take someone out from a dementia unit overnight. A lot of preparation, a lot of work, but he did that every few months. He was so loving and kind, but authoritative when he needed to be with her, and could de-escalate her right down just with a few words, from him. No one else could do it, only him. So because there was that fun, that love, that connection, everything in that relationship, that's when we have influence, we have influence. When there's that emotional range of positive experiences is there, love, history of love and connection and fun and enjoyment. That's what we all love in a relationship, and it's no different when someone has dementia. So another experience of sons having fun was there was this one son of the school teacher. Now, he didn't visit that often. I think he lived quite a way away. But when he did, he gave his mother fabulous fun outings, such good outings. One outing, which she actually remembered because it was so significant, was he took her to this fabulous art exhibition here in Christchurch with, we call it Goldie art. The Goldie is an artist, and he used to do beautiful paintings of Maori chiefs and women chiefs, chiefesses I think they're called, with all their Moko Maori beautiful tribal art all over their faces, indigenous tattoos. And he wanted to keep that as a history, because these people, these Maori people, are indigenous people. All this work, their tribal tattooing was, as these people died, then, that work would be lost unless it was, photography wasn't really in then. It had only just started. So these beautiful paintings he did so that this work wasn't lost. Anyway, she went to this exhibition, knew about Goldie, and he spent the whole afternoon with her, slowly going around this, in the wheelchair. She was in the wheelchair, happily looking at all the beautiful paintings. Then they went out for a lovely cup of tea and scone or something. Then he took her all around Hagley Park. It was spring and the sunshine and the beautiful flowers. Oh, just imagine the impression that made on her, the most beautiful visit. Just one visit, but for months she could remember it. She loved it, and she'd tell us all about it. And she had so much fun. She adored everything about it. So, this is how experiences like this sort of imprint on our heart, and they steal us, not steal us, but they give us that air, that light, that expansion that we need to be able to shock absorb the hard times. If it's always hard times and stress and depression and anxiety, we've got no buffer. But these fun times give us that buffer so that we can rise above things and, weather it, really. And I really noticed that with residents who had supportive sons, where there was fun and enjoyment, they were able to weather the storms that came up much better, so much better than others that didn't have that chance or opportunity. So this is it about, sons having fun and all the adventures that you can have with your sons. Okay, so thank you for your views, your likes, and all the rest of it. I really appreciate it. The viewing of some of these sessions, I think, what was it? The first visit to a dementia unit seemed to be going very well. So thank you for that, and for your support for this platform. Thank you.